Welcome to week 33 of Living for All the Marbles. We're looking at 23 February to 1 March. And how many of you knew that viscosity was a thing with bourbon? You say, what? It is. It actually is. We'll talk about that a little bit later. For those of you, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Vinny. And we're going to take week's 33's marble and we're going to reach in and we're going to put it into the well-lived past. We had a great session on Wednesday with the Anne Arundel County Department of Emergency Management. A guy named Jim Krempel, really good guy in their public outreach. The Anne Arundel County Police Department's Crime Prevention Unit, the Maryland Department of Emergency Management was there. Homeland Security rep to Maryland, a guy named Dave Johnston was there. He does the security assessment at first entry thing for DHS. And then the DHS cybersecurity advisor was there as well. So if you're not involved in safety and security, or excuse me, if you are involved in safety and security for faith-based organizations, take advantage of all the resources that are available. Reach out to these guys and others who share this information freely. And make sure you offer it to somebody else if you know them that are involved. If you're not involved in Anne Arundel County, there are other counties and states and jurisdictions that have similar resources. You just need to look them up. They really are valuable, and I encourage you to use them. And if you are in the safety and security space, look into InfraGard. This is a partnership between the FBI and the private sector. There's a great group to be part of. A lot of information gets passed, and you're joining with others in industry and the FBI to prepare for and fight challenges, like shooters or health scares or cybersecurity and many other issues. So you could find more information at infragard.org or just Google InfraGard, but it's really worth it. So Souls Conference 2022, the Upside Down Kingdom. Sean Hart, our global missions pastor, and Gideon and Joy Banda, the founders and directors of the Renewal Project Africa Trust, just did a great job. The staff at Bay Area did a great job setting everything up, but it was a great turnout, and it was really a pleasure and a blessing to see people working so enthusiastically, and committed for the good of others. We had a couple of breakout sections on working with exploited people, ministering to refugees like the Afghan refugees that are coming over and other sojourners, and also on Bible translations for getting the word out to people all over the world. And the good news is that we have some people who were involved in this over 20 years ago, and they say that the timeline for getting the word to everybody around the world has now stepped up even more. It's shorter than it was, so that's great. On the 26th, our anticipated bourbon tasting came to fruition. It was a great evening. We had 25 guys show up, and Andy McKinney, who's the president of the Maryland Bourbon Tasters, did a phenomenal job of leading the tasting and brought some great spirits to facilitate the learning. I'm going to put a short video scan of the group in here so that you all can see it. Now, viscosity, right? Yeah, that's a thing. And I'm going to quote, to make it easier, from Distillery Trail. The viscosity of the whiskey. Observing the legs or tiers of a whiskey and the slowness with which they fall enables you to assess its alcohol content. In fact, these legs are the result of the difference in surface tension between the alcohol and the water contained in the whiskey, or what they call the Marangione effect. As the surface tension is lower in alcohol than in water, the higher the alcohol content of the whiskey, the more legs there will be, and the slower they will form and fall. In the same way, the more fatty acids the whiskey contains, the thicker these legs will be. In addition, the longer the whiskey was aged in the cask, the more they will tend to separate and space out. It's really kind of interesting that when you are able to observe it and you kind of, whirl the glass around, and you watch the way it falls. Sometimes it falls in really streaks. Sometimes it opens up really wide, like there's oil and things like that. It's really interesting. And sometimes you can detect, some of that viscosity, if you will, as you're drinking it. So it's an interesting thing to do. So anyway, for those of you who haven't been a part of what we're doing, again, my name is Vinny, and I'm on a journey of legacy building for my family, personal accountability to live the vision for my life, and hopefully to inspire you to live the best life for yourself. So if this interests you, I would encourage you to subscribe or share or ring the bell or no, hit the bell, and visit us at Living for All the Marbles on YouTube, Facebook, or the web. I'd really appreciate it. Also, if you want the backstory on Living for All the Marbles and why I started all this, you can find that on all those platforms as well. So thanks for being here. Remember to live intentionally and finish strong. God bless. See you next week.